Good morning, everybody. How are y'all doing this beautiful Tuesday morning? I'm gonna see if I can't find my live so I can see comments on my page. There must be quite a lag this morning. I'm not finding myself here. All right, there we go. Good morning, everybody. Uh-oh, let me get my sound down. Okay. All right, guys. Y'all come on in and say hello and grab your coffee, and we're going to be doing something that I need to do, that I wanted to do for the house, and we're going to be making over the Walmart birds. So y'all say good morning when you come on in, and welcome to my page. I'm Yvonne with Southern Designs and Finds, and I'm glad you're here. I'm not seeing any comments yet, but hopefully I will soon. I see people are watching. Patty Morgan's watching. Good morning, Patty. Hey, Diane. Diane is watching. So there's Miss Rhonda, my friend Rhonda. How are you doing? Good morning. Hey, Tracy. Good morning to you. I hope you've had a good morning and a good week so far. Anyway, hey, Lori. How are you, sweetie? Y'all come on in, and I will say it again when I'm ready to do. This is my segment on Craft Around the Clock, and you can join Craft Around the Clock by going into the description of my video and I tagged the group. Click on the name of the group. It'll take you over there and you can join. It's a free group. Hey, Susan, good morning to you, and good morning, Rhonda Riley. Got two Rhondas this morning. Hey, Helga, good morning to you, my friend. So there's Miss Susan. Did I say good morning to you? Hey, Cindy. Cynthia Vines is my bestie, and she's from California, and she has a page called The Shabby Heart by Vines. We've known each other for a long time. Good morning, Jerry. So y'all come on in. I'm going to get a sip of coffee here. Hey, Gail, good morning to you. Sorry, guys. Let me get another sip. Ooh, that's good. I didn't finish my first cup this morning. I don't know about y'all. Do y'all let it get cold? I let it get cold. And, of course, I reheat it in the microwave. Good morning, Anastasia. How are you? I'm glad you caught me live, too. Good morning, Cheryl. How are you? So we've had some beautiful weather. It's going to rain this weekend, and then a cold front comes back behind that, and then the cold weather comes back. But I'm going to enjoy it this week while we can. So I'm going to be making over these little Walmart birds. I find these birds over in their little small little their aisle where they have just a little bit of home decor, some greenery and some baskets and things like that. But this is where I find them. And I can't remember how much they were. They're not that much. I want to say $4.99, maybe $6.99 at the most. But they're just little cream little birds, and I'm gonna repaint mine. I don't, these are kind of a little bit of a shiny ceramic. Good morning, tailored by Debbie. There's my Georgia creative friend. We got to get together, us Georgia gals, and meet each other finally for the first time. I'd love to meet y'all. Hey, Marcy, good morning to you. And Linda, good morning. And Cynthia Kaywood, good morning to you. Sandra, hi, everybody. So I'm going to begin. I don't think you have to do this, but since it's sort of shiny, I'm going to use some Bonding Boss by Dixie Belle. And it's just a primer. And you could literally, I believe you could just use some chalk paint over it, white chalk paint, ivory plaster, something like that would be fine. I think it's just enough to take the shine away from it. And so that's my plan this morning, is just to kind of redo these birds. I bought a couple of them, and I just felt like, I wanted to do something different with them. I like that chippy aged look to mine, almost sort of like cement. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do. It probably won't look like cement. I think if you wanted to do something that looked like cement, you would have more of a gray in your paint. But this'll work, because some of my birds already have, and some of my rabbits even have an off-white paint finish to them with, some brown or black underneath it. And that's my plan, is to use some brown, but I think black would work really nice too. So I'm just using, hello, is it Benvinda? I can't pronounce your name, sweetie. Let me know how you pronounce it. Good morning, Pam. It's snowing in town, but not here. This is California, where Cindy lives. It's hard for me to imagine that they get snow. But when I think of California, I think of Palm Springs, where it's more desert-like and you know, really warm all the time. That's what I think of when I think of California. But she's had snow, that's for sure. So before, but boy, I bet you wish you were back in Palm Springs again. So I just need to get the underside of this, and we'll dry it, and then I haven't done the very bottom, but I've done it as close as I can get. And I'm going to do my other one here. I've got two of them. So while I've got it here, I'm going to go ahead and paint both of these. There we go. I'll do that. I'm just going to paint both of them. See, this had a run on it too. Sort of a run on the paint finish, I guess. So I'm just going to get them both painted up while I got this bonding boss out. But any kind of a primer will work, but I really feel like chalk paint, you know, chalk paint you can paint over any kind of a shiny surface, metal, over existing, you know, paint. You don't have to sand anything. So just use you some chalk paint, because I know a lot of you don't have the bonding boss and don't know how to get it from Dixie Belle or a retailer. But it does help. It's the same thing as what Slick Stick was, if y'all have the Slick Stick. But this is just, I don't know if they renamed it or new and improved it. I really don't know. Oh, Rhonda's asking Cindy, Rhonda lives in California too. You live in Northern California too, don't you, Rhonda? But yeah, so I think this just kind of helps bond your paint so that it doesn't scratch off as much. Although what we're doing to it, it really wouldn't matter because I'm not painting it smooth. So, but this is just something that I needed to do personally for my birds, and they've been sitting out, you know, just like they are. But I thought it would be really pretty to chippy mine up, because every kind of bird I have is just sort of chippy. So anyway, do any of you have these Walmart birds? I was just kind of curious if you have them. But see, it's such a shiny surface. I mean, really, I could probably do 2 coats on here, but I'm not going to worry about it. But I'm going to dry them. Diane, I don't know why gesso wouldn't work. I would, if you've got some gesso, try it. I mean, I think it's just something that goes over it that's not smooth, you know, the smooth surface. Because, you know, you could take your fingernail, of course you could do anything like that, but sometimes these, when I painted some vintage or old tea sets, I painted in our private group one year, and you could scrape it right off. So I had to go use the Slick Stick, which is the primer from Dixie Belle, and it really did help for the paint to adhere better, because these are shiny, more shinier ceramic surfaces here. So it's drying pretty quick. So we'll get it dried. And good Tuesday morning to you, my friend Diane. How are you? Your coffee, I bet your coffee tastes real good. Cheers, 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 cheers. She didn't get much sleep. They're having high gusty winds in Arizona, and the winds woke her up about 2 o'clock, and she's like me. If once you're up, you know. Sometimes I can go back to sleep, but if it's windy like that, I don't get to go back to sleep. So I haven't done the very bottom, but I think we're good with that. I mean, I could just use what I've got left over, I guess, on my brush, and just dry that real quick. Should be fine. So let me just dry it real quick. What did I paint the birds with? Don't apologize, Pam. You know, you probably just came on. This is a bonding boss called Bonding Boss by Dixie Belle, and it's just basically a primer. to do on shiny surfaces. However, if you don't have a Dixie Belle retailer or know of one, you can, of course, you can look online. Some of the craft creators sell Dixie Belle. I think Toy with 2 the 9s does. You can just use like plaster chalk paint from Walmart. You know, some kind of an off-white, white chalk paint. Not acrylic paint, but chalk paint. That'll help take a lot of the shininess off of it and get your paint to adhere better, I think. So you could try sanding them, but there's really, you know, no need to do that. I've tried to sand stuff recently, and what a mess. But anyway, so see how I've got that's not me that did that. That's a run that was in the paint of the bird. So what we're going to do is going to cover all that up anyway. So, oops, I got to get the side there. But anyway, I just thought I'd do these two and see how they turn out, you know. Don't forget any old run-of-the-mill primer. I use Zinsser, available at any Walmart in the paint department. Much easier, is it really? Is it much easier to use? That's good to know. I've seen the Zinsser primers. I have seen them. And it's not in the craft department. It's over in the, she said, the paint department. Thank you for that. I can get Dixie Belle here. Good, Pam. I thought she's told me that recently. She's in Canada. That's good to know that you can get it. That's always good. I tell you, girl, I wish you had a post office box in the United States like my friend Pat from Unique does. Of course, she's right over the border to the United States, so it's easier for her to just hop right over there, you know, and get her mail. So, because I mail her some things sometimes, and I would love to be able to do that. Would Mod Podge work? It might work. It's worth a try, Patty. It's just something to go over it to give your paint a grip. So it may work. The gesso may work. Chalk paint will work. Just a white chalk paint. So this is my plan. I'm going to do this 2 ways. I'm going to use salt wash. I've had this salt wash forever, years. I mean, and I guess it's still okay. I can get you salt wash. It's for a layered sun and salt air soaked look. It just adds a lot of texture to your paints. And then we're going to try the baking soda. I have used both. I've used salt wash and I've used baking soda. This paint that I'm using is by Dixie Belle. It's called Drop Cloth. It's sort of a grayish ivory or grayish cream color. And that's the color that I was hoping to be able to use. So we're going to put some paint in this. And I always make a mess when I try to pour these things out. But I'm going to use some of the drop cloth. And actually on both of them are going to have drop cloth. So I don't know how much to put in there, but I'm going to see how much we got. I can always add, you know, I don't want to ruin a lot of paint, you know, waste a lot of paint. Over time, Mod Podge flakes off. You've experienced that, Dawn. Well, thank you for letting us know that. See? I do too, Jeannie. I love birds. Good morning. Hey, Mary, Ocean Breeze and Meese. How are you, my friend? I'm probably missing a lot of comments here when I look down the craft. Excuse me. Goodness, I'm getting hoarse. There's Totally Together. Brenda, how are you, my sweet friend? These are all Craft Around the Clock creators. Most of them. If you see one that you row 12 Creations, how are you, my friend? This is Jamie. You know, go follow them. It's free to follow them, and they would appreciate it. I need 4 people to reach 55,000. I have not tried, but I have been stuck in 54,000 for it seems like a year. So it's sort of a goal, you know. I think I'm about 4. Sometimes it goes backwards and I lose a couple, you know, that kind of thing. So anyway, I'm going to use the salt wash first. And you can get this from my link up at the top of my page. It's called All Paint Products. And salt wash is one of the products that they carry. And so I'm just going to take a scoop of this and stir it in there and just get, you know, I'm going to thicken my paint and just try to get now I made a mistake, which this is fine. It'll be fine until I paint it. I want to paint the base of this brown. So I got to do that real quick, but this is fine. We're going to do that. I did a scoop, and you want it the consistency of icing. You know, that's just what they recommend that you do. Like I said, I painted my light fixture in my kitchen over my island. I went and redid some of it had a lot of gold on it, and I didn't like it, but it was chippy white. And I used a thick mixture of baking soda. But I just want to see what the difference is going to be. But you want it the consistency of icing, so I could probably use a little bit more salt wash on that. But what I'm going to do real quickly is, I guess I'll just use this brush. I got to get me some more brushes. I'm going to use the burnt umber, just some acrylic paint, burnt umber, and because I like this dark brown. I have another brown that I like from Paint Couture called Pine Cone, but I don't have a lot of that left. So we're just going to do the burnt umber and see what I say that, if it squirts out, if I have enough. So anyway, I'm running low on paints. So let's get this started, and just, you don't have to be real careful with this. You just want to get a brown undertone to this. So that's what we are doing. Oh, is my friend Pat on here? Were your ears burning, my friend? I was telling Pam, who lives in Canada, that I wish she had a post office box like you do. Of course, you're right there at the border, the United States border. You can literally just walk from your house, can't you? It's she can see it. She can see it from her house. So, but I could mail her some things. But I'm going to mail you a couple of things too, Pat. I assume you still have your post office box. Let me know if you still have it. So I'm just going to do the bottom first, and then we'll dry that and see what this is going to look like. But see, the paint is going on fairly nice, you know, now that I put the primer on there. So let's get this dried, and then I'll paint the rest of it. So, but this is a Walmart bird. If you're just hopping on, I found these over in the home decor section, the little aisle that has the mirrors, and it has some greenery and baskets, and, you know, greenery and pots, and, you know, little home decor things. Mine doesn't have a whole lot, but I saw, I can't remember. Oh, it was my friend Stephanie with the Vintage Pebble. She found the cutest frame, like a vintage looking frame that she redid from there, and it was in that section, and I looked, and we didn't have it. I got a little paint on my top. Oh well, hopefully it's going to come out. That's probably the salt wash, maybe. Is that what you're talking about? I hope so. It should come out. Now, if it's the acrylic paint, it might not come out. So we're going to get this one done first, and then if I have time, I'll do the other one with the brown. I may do the other one with another color. I'll take that back. I might do the underneath side of this and the other one called Olive Wood. It's an olive looking paint. And just to play with it, experiment, you know. So, and I did forget to get my bright white, my snow white paint out, but that's okay. I can always add that later. I thought about this color that I'm using. It's called Drop Cloth, and it's a grayish ivory color. But I thought I'd add some bright white to it. Might look pretty good. So I'm just going over this with a second coat, just to get it so where you see more of the dark brown. And I may take my palette knife and use some dark brown that way too, and see what we come up with. All right, so let's see. I just wanted it a little bit darker, as y'all see, just when it's showing through, you know, so that really needs to get dried. At one time, I used baby powder mixed in my paint to make it look like fur on a sheep. Oh my goodness, baby powder. That's a good idea too. Very good idea. Good morning, Debbie. How are you? That's my friend Debbie Miller, who lives here in Blairsville. She's one of our dinner crew friends that we go out to eat with and go to concerts with. We're going to go see Herman's Hermits, Peter Noon and Herman's Hermits. Do y'all remember them? Peter Noon? In August. And then the next night, the very next night as it comes up the way it worked out, we're going to go see Vince Gill. So this is at the Hiawassee, Georgia Mountain Fairgrounds. So Debbie just got back from she and her family, most of her family, went to, well, her daughters and their sons, went to Vegas this weekend, and they saw the Wizard of Oz. Was it good, Debbie? So, and then she was working the slot machines, and she won, like, I want to say $400 or $500. Did you spend it all? Did you lose it all back? Or did you keep some? Did you come out ahead? But anyway, I've been helping Debbie decorate her house. Baby powder works for great texture, Pam said. Great, good to know. You love the Hermits? I know. What are some of their songs? Y'all remember some of their songs? Is it Mrs. Brown, You've Got a Lovely Daughter? Is that one of them? I don't know the name of it. Is that Mrs. Brown? I'm thinking that might be one of them. But I'm just going to darken this up a little bit more. But this is a Walmart bird if you're just hopping on. And we primed it. And you like the Hermits? Yeah. So, hey Terry, how are you? And there's my friend Robin's Nest for Everyday Living. She's a Georgia gal too. Talked about with Debbie, and get Denise, Doodle Denise Designs, and Debbie, tailored by Debbie, and you, and who else is from Georgia? Wendy, from Blairsville, Simply Bewitching. She's from Blairsville. We need to get together. Yeah. Hey Vicki, how are you? I have a ceramic bird I've had sitting on my counter all week. Well, get to it. Try repainting it. That's what we're going to do. We had an awesome time, Debbie said. I highly recommend it. I did come back with some money, but I also deposited more. Yeah, that's the hard part, isn't it, when you're working those slot machines, is that you, do y'all mind if I go ahead? Well, no, I'm going to paint it a different color. Never mind. So, I say I am. I may go back and paint that one brown too. But, okay, so I've got it painted brown, the underneath side. Whoops, look at there. Ooh, that didn't work out. That was hot, and I touched it. So let me put some more paint back on there and dry it. Let's see, some of that paint just came right off. So, either way, let's get it dry. Gotta have it good and dry. Yeah, do the baby powder. You can use baking soda. I'm going to use baking soda on my second one just to kind of get an idea. I do like salt wash for certain finishes, like when I do a verdigris finish, a patina. I do like that, mixing the different colors together to get that look. I do like that. Okay, this one right here, this area is still wet. Let me get it dry. Oh, is Kathany getting pretty weather? Let's see what she's saying. I didn't see it. It's a beautiful day here again in Kentucky. Supposed to get what? Up into the 60s again. Oh, Kathany, I know. We have had the same weather. Yesterday was glorious, and today's supposed to be even nicer. Let's see, I got a big glob of paint right there, but it's going to all get covered up, so it's not going to matter. So, not going to matter. So we're going to, now that we've primed it and put our base coat on of brown, and this is just burnt umber I'm using, a dark brown, we're going to try to achieve this kind of a look. This is my little bird and pedestal, but see how it's got some brown, and I really think you could go and use your putty knife, your palette knife, and just scrape some of that brown on there. But this is one of my bird pedestals, but that's the kind of look that I'm trying to achieve. So let me stir this up some more, and I think we're good. It's dried a little bit since I've had it out, so it's like icing. So it's actually pretty thick, and that was a scoop. So I'm going to take you want to use just a cheap chip brush or a whatever you want to call it, what do you call it, I can't think a minute, stencil brush. You could do that, but see how I'm just pouncing? And typically you want to be able to pounce enough to where you get some peaks. See what that's looking like? So you want to get some peaks to this, and just the more texture, the better. And I'm just trying to leave some of that brown showing through. And we're just going to see what happens with this. But less is more. So don't glob a whole lot on there at one time. You can always go back and add more. Now, these birds did not have any eyes, so they're good. But I think that's looking pretty good, I think. What do y'all think? Anything's better than just the plain ivory, I think so. I mean, I think we're getting the same kind of similar look right there. A little bit lighter, but you could also do some dark wax. I'm thinking the cashew might work too, but you could always add some dark wax to this and get it the color tone that you might want, you know. I love your bird on the pat. Isn't it pretty, Jeannie? I found that at a furniture store. I was looking for some accessories, primarily for my sofa table. And we don't have a whole lot of shops. You know, we have a few shops, but not a lot. And so I went to a furniture store and was able to find that one and a little bit taller one. So, you know, go into your furniture stores and look for home decor. Okay, so I'm gonna hold it down right there. So I'm gonna get some thicker in areas. And isn't it pretty, Terry? I'm liking this. I'm liking it. This is going to work out good, I think. So you can leave as much brown as you wanted on there, but it's giving me that texture that looks like cement, and I'm liking that. So like I said, you can always go back and add more to this. I'm going to dry the bottom of this in a minute because I need to set it down and finish it. So I'm going to dry the bottom. And salt wash, you know, like I said, this is a pretty thick icing consistency. So this is looking pretty good. So I'm going to dry the bottom of this and then just continue on. Isn't it pretty, Pam? I mean, I like it. I like it. And I like the texture. Can y'all see the textures coming out? You see those little peaks coming out there? I could go back and add more texture to this and just really make it, you know, like I said, you can use more of a gray tones to this. This was as close as I could find to that look. And they may have used a dark wax on it or an antiquing wax too, rubbed it over there and rubbed it off. I don't know, but these are just cheap little shiny ceramic Walmart birds from Walmart. Not in the spring section. They're in the little home decor section. They have about a half of an aisle of home decor. At least mine does. Isn't it pretty, row 12? Hey, Jamie. I keep wanting to say. I'm gonna remember your name, Jamie. So I'm gonna just. So see, that's why it didn't matter. But with the paint job that's underneath, you just want it to be able to. See the brown, you know, you don't have to be real particular with that. But see how I'm just adding with the chip brush, I'm just adding that texture, all I'm doing. And you can, you know, pull it up and add more peaks if you want to. You can make this salt wash even stiffer and get more of a peak effect to it too. So just stipple it on, pounce, dab, dab, dab. Pounce it, but it looks like, you know, cake icing really, but this looks pretty darn good. It's been a while since I've used salt wash, and I love the product, I do, but I'm going to see if you just get the same effect with you know, with the, or similar effect anyway, with the baking soda. I'll get it right. So I'm liking that. I think I'm going to dry that. I think it looks pretty good. See, I've got an area there that looks really smooth, so I want to take and just really dab it and get those peaks. That's going to give me more texture, and that's what it's all about. Like I said, I think you could do a gray, and you could do black undertones on this, would look really good. So let's just leave this one alone. And it looks very high end. Well, it looks pretty good. I mean, you know, I think they probably didn't do as much on this one. They may even have taken a palette knife and gone over it. Those are real smooth. Those brown spots are real smooth. And they may have taken a palette knife and taken it and, you know, just put a little bit of paint on there. Y'all know how to do that distressing look, and just added some to that. And I can do that too. So, but I'm liking this bird much better than, of course, this one's already been primed, but I'm liking it, you know, because it was just an ivory, shiny bird, you know, so very smooth. It has some flaws in it, you know, paint runs and stuff like that. Now it doesn't matter because, you know, you can't see it. So this is bird number 1 right here. And if I had my real white paint, I've got plaster there, you can dab on some white. And I may do that, and that white will show up, you know, against this. Isn't it pretty, Mary? You're live today, row 12? You haven't been live much. These days, it seems like since Christmas, I've only been going live once a week. Now, last week I did go live on Friday too. But anyway, I think this looks good. I'm just going to leave it the way it is. It dries quick, but that looks really nice, I think. And then what you could do is you could, I don't know if it would work. I mean, you could dab a little bit of like moss paint on there. You could put a little baking soda or the salt wash with that and dab a little moss on there to make it look a little mossy. I don't know if any of this Distress Oxide would work. This is that bundled sage. Let's see what else I got here. I think that might be the only green I have. Is that bundled sage. Let me try, you know, I can always go back over. I'm going to try one little spot and just see what it looks like. I'll do it on the underneath side. This is just the bundled sage. And just see if what it looks like. Now, that's not completely dry, but see, I could go through it and just add a little bit of that sage if I wanted to, just to have a little bit of green, and then I can go back over it with some white and get that. So that looks pretty good. Not a lot, just a very hint of green, you know, just like it was moss. So that's not bad. That's my preference. You know, y'all do what you want, but if you've got ceramic birds, like one of them said they had ceramic birds sitting on a shelf already, try this method and just see it starts to show up in that concrete look. Isn't that pretty? I like that. So it's picking up some of the peaks that I have on that I created. So, but you could do some dark wax on this, I think would look good. And see, I'm getting it on see, some of this is not dry, so I'm getting the salt wash, the paint on some of that. But anyway, you can go back over it and add more texture if you wanted to. And so I probably should have waited until it was like dry just a little bit more before I tried this. But anyway, you get the idea and of what it's going to look like. So you lost a little bit of definition. There is a little bit of definition in the wing. You can see it through here, so you could take some dark wax and just try to get some more definition there. but that's just a little bit of hint of green there, not a whole lot. So this one's done. So I'm gonna let it be. It's still trying to dry on me here. So I'm just gonna, yeah, it's still trying to dry. So let's put this one aside. And then I'm gonna stir my salt wash up some more because it's getting kind of dried out here. And let's try this look here on this one. I have, if I don't like it, I'll go over it again with some brown. But I'm going to use the Olive Wood by Dixie Belle. It's sort of a gray-green olive color. Basically what it is. It's an olive color. So let's try that one. And how are we doing on time? We're doing good? Let's try that one. And whoops, I was going to use my salt wash, wasn't I? Shoot. Okay. Well, I just wanted to see what it would look like using the baking soda. So let me, I got a lot of paint left over there. I might be able to put that in plastic and just see what else I can add salt wash to, right? Maybe that would work. Cover it up with plastic, add a little bit of water to it. And see what you have. So y'all are all talking to yourself. I'm looking to see if I'm missing a question or anything. Y'all are good about, the pollen is definitely flying around already. Robin, yeah, it is. She's a couple hours south of me. It is a little bit. We opened up our doors yesterday, and of course I had a fly fall in. Am I freezing? Oh, you're freezing. Okay, I thought you meant I'm frozen, but you're freezing temperature-wise. Okay, so I'm just going to catch up on my comments here. And, hey, Esther, good to see you. We're running out the door, Robin. Okay, you'll catch me on replay. Very good, very good. But I'm liking this look. I should have done a before and after. I should have took a picture. Maybe I can go to Walmart and take an after. So I'm not going to need nearly as much paint as I used on that. So I'm going to, this is the Dixie Belle drop cloth. So let's add some baking soda to this and just see what we come up with. This is a finer texture already. I can tell as I'm pouring it out that it's much finer texture. But I'm just going to add me some of this in there and see what we come up with. And just might have to keep adding more to it maybe because it's still kind of thin. But yeah, it's a much finer texture than the salt wash is. I can't explain it. But baking powder, not baking powder, baby powder might work. It's still a fine texture too, but I think it has a little bit more, it's a little bit more thicker than the baking soda is. But we're going to try it. And then if I feel like, see, it's still kind of runny, I can always go back and do my salt wash with that. But I wanted to compare it, y'all. I got to get a lot more out there. I can tell. I like those bowls you're pouring from. Oh, well, Dixie, these are from a friend of mine here in Blairsville. She I don't know if she still does it. She was a representative or a consultant for a dieting thing where you do so much protein a day and that kind of thing. And she had these that came with something. And she said, I'm not going to use them. Do you want them? And they're just little paper containers. And she gave me a whole bunch of these. And they are nice. But, I've used cat food cups. The little plastic cat food cups. So I'm still doing. So I'm getting it a little thicker. So I am doing that. But I want it a little thicker than that. So just going to continue to add it. Okay, I think we're doing good here. So I'm going to mix it up good. It's starting to look kind of grainy and see, so it's like icing. It is. It's looking like icing. I might be able to cover that up, add a little water to that, and cover them up with some plastic wrap, or put them in a container and maybe reuse it. Maybe I've got something else I can use that on. I use too much paint. All right, so let me get all that out of the way. I'm going to get me a sip of coffee. You know what? Yeah, I did like to air out the house. I did get a fly in there, and then I saw a gnat. I'm going to use the same chip brush that I used before, and we're going to just see how this works. Well, oh, yeah. Hold on. Did y'all see what I just did? Well, y'all get an idea of it. I've got to paint it. Here, I've got to paint this. Doggone it, I've got to paint the underneath side. So let me do that real quick. And I'm going to do just part of this because I'm running out of time. But I'm going to just show y'all the difference that baking soda can do. So it looked like it was doing pretty good to me. So I'm just going to get it painted up. I'll worry about the bottom later. I've got the turntable, use it, right? I'm so used to not using the turntable, so. But I like this green. It's sort of an olivey green. I've got some of this brown paint mixed in with it. But, looks pretty good. What are y'all saying here? I use the yogurt cups. Yeah, Diane, those work great. The wee yogurt cups, or just really I guess any of the yogurt cups. Those wee ones, OUI, they're glass. Of course, you have to wash them out, but they work pretty good. But cat food cups, the plastic ones, the dry wet cat food, those work pretty good too. But these are something she gave me, and I don't even know if she even has any more, but they work great, and I just throw them away. Sometimes if it's the same color, I'll reuse it just to save until I absolutely have to throw it away, you know. All right, so let's get this dried up. You don't have to be careful with the bottom coat, that's for sure. So, get it dry. I didn't find a new nail salon, Cheryl. No, I just went to the same place. She's behaving. They're both behaving. So, the last time when all that happened, the issue, I got my nails done for free, obviously, but then she did them for free the last time, too. This time I had a $20 gift card that she had given me, and I used it, too. But, you know, when you like someone, the way they do their nails, but I just feel so bad for her. Because I really feel like in my heart she's abused, and so I don't know that for sure. But when she yelled out that day, she said, he'll start hitting me when I get home. And of course I told the police officer that too. So, but I just decided to do a French or American manicure this time. I think they're a little bit too thick on the edges, ends, but just instead of doing a solid color, just kind of a fresh look. So, it's pretty. It is pretty just like this, isn't it? You got your package yesterday. Can't wait to put it all together. Yay, Sheila. Well, I've got your other one ready to pack up. I ran out of tape, and Mr. Wonderful had to go get me some tape. Whoops, not dry. So, I'm going to run a little behind here. I'm going to take a little bit of time. We can do 15 minutes extra if we need to, and do a full hour. I hate doing that, running into the next crafter's time. So y'all feel free to refresh your page and go see the next crafter coming up. But I am going to do a little bit of this on live and show you what it's like. Compare it to the salt wash. So I'm gonna. This was the baking soda I used. See, I used salt wash, and so it's not completely dry there. So I am going to take up a little bit of time with this one. It's a pretty bird, just painting it like that. You take your time painting it and put a second coat on it to where you don't have all the brush strokes. Yeah, it's a pretty color. It's an olive color. You know, I guess that's olive wood, so I guess that's what it is. Okay, so I'm going to just show y'all. compare it now. It's not completely dry, but it's dry enough. I'm gonna put my lid on my drop cloth here. So we'll see what this is gonna do. But it's pretty stiff. I had to use a lot more of it, but it's pretty stiff. So I'm just gonna go through it and just see what that looks like. I may go back through there and add a little bit of brown to it. I don't know how to explain it. It's working, okay? It's working, but it's kind of smeary. Does that make any sense? It's kind of smearing a little bit. Whereas the salt wash, once you put it on, it didn't smear with the brush. So I'm really having to, that's a difference I'm seeing right at the moment, but it's nothing that's, you know, bad. So that's looking pretty good. It's just smearing. I'm having to use more to get some texture on there. But I like that color showing through. I do. So, you know, if y'all feel free to go and watch the next crafter. You know, she tells us we can do that, but I sure hate doing that. I just want to finish it, most of it here on the live, and just to compare this, and I'm going to show you what they both look like. I don't want to get too heavy. I want some of that green showing through, but I'm almost having to go heavier. It's just smeary. Maybe I just need to add more baking soda to it. Let's see. So it's different, okay, but it's okay. Try the baking powder. Try the baby powder if you want to for that, and see what you come up with. I mean, it's making peaks, but it's a different. It is different applying it. It's not as stiff, if that makes any sense to y'all. So I'm gonna do part of this and then we'll dry it. See, I'm having to kind of slow down a little bit. It's just smeary. It's not saying that it's not working, because it is, but you can see I'm really having to get crusted up a little bit. So let me get this dry and we'll compare this. How about that? Oh, Anastasia, I'm glad you've enjoyed this technique. I'm gonna dry this and let y'all see it, and then I'm just gonna continue on. I mean, I'll get off my live, but you can kind of see where it's a little bit smeary, but it's not bad. It's not bad. You know, the tail, but it is a different texture. A little bit, even though I put a lot of baking soda in it, it's still a smoother texture. So I do like the look though. Gee, try it, yes. And if y'all do, I have a free group called Create with Southern Designs and Finds, and y'all can share it in there or message it to me. And but you can see, I want to compare it to this one. You can see it's not bad. See how kind of smeary it is there? I need to add more to that. But this is definitely a different texture on that. But, so you can either use salt wash, get you some salt wash. I have a link at the top of my page called All Paints Products. I've had this stuff forever, and I've used it, I mean, for years. Gail knows how long I've used it. It's been several years, and I mean, I've made several things with it. So, or use baking soda, baby powder, something like that that's going to give you some texture. I know, Pat, and I like them both too. I'm not unhappy with that. I just wanted to show you the difference there. I mean, I'm having to add more where it's more bumpy, which is fine too. You know, I like that look too. You could sand some of it off, but much better look, I think, than just the shiny ivory bird. So I'll finish this after my live. I'll go, since I've got everything out, I'm going to finish this one. And I wondered how to redo. Yeah, you could sand it a little bit, but Anastasia, use some chalk paint if you don't have any primer, but you can get some primer, they said, from Walmart called Zinsser Primer, or chalk paint, you know, off-white or a white chalk paint will do the same thing. similar. You just want to take off that shine, and it really does help with that. So I'll finish this little guy up, but I like the green underneath that one. I do. It's a totally different look. And you can take your palette knife and add a little bit of brown in here. I mean, I can show you on that one. Just add a little bit, you know, on your palette knife, and just add you a little bit of brown. You can, you know, just start scraping it on. So you can do that too. I mean, it's just kind of the look that you want to do. But I'm getting it just the same look by just painting the underside of this. But this would give you additional texture, that's for sure. And just paint it, put it on there and scrape it off. It'll just give you a little bit more texture on there. So try different methods. Try some white over that, and it'll give you a little bit of white texture. You know, just try a little bit of that and add the white to it and just start layering it, loading it, layering it. So see, I'm just adding a little bit more there. So that's how you do it with a palette knife. So thank you for joining me, and make sure you go and watch the next crafter up. Refresh your page on Craft Around the Clock. See y'all later. Bye-bye.